Welcome, everyone. Ready to dive deep into Taoism.
I'm excited, always up for exploring this kind of wisdom.
Our guide this time is Alan Watts's Tao. The Watercourse Way. We're going to try to break down those core Taoist principles, see if they still resonate in our modern world.
Sounds like a plan.
Right, we're talking about a philosophy that originated in ancient China.
Emphasizing harmony, going with the flow of life, right?
Exactly, like water finding its path.
Ah, very Taoist.
Speaking of which, Watts' book starts with a line that always gets me. The Tao that can be spoken is not the eternal Tao.
Oh, yeah, a real head scratcher.
It is. What do you think Watts is getting at there?
Well, he's saying that the Tao, that fundamental essence of reality, it can't be totally captured by words.
So it's like we can talk about it,
We can try.
but the experience itself is beyond definition.
You got it. It's like trying to describe the taste of water, you can use words.
But until you've tasted it.
Yeah.
So are we saying there's this underlying energy or force shaping everything, but we can't quite put our finger on it?
In a way, yes. But the cool part is, think about something like electricity. We might not totally grasp its true nature.
But we can still use it.
Exactly. Taoism encourages us to observe the patterns of the Tao, see how things work, even without having that perfect definition.
I like that. Understanding the flow rather than trying to control it.
That's a big part of it.
Which makes me think, how does the whole yin and yang idea fit into this?
Ah, the interplay of opposites.
Right. I've always found that fascinating.
It's not about good versus evil, like some folks might think.
It's more complex than that.
Much more. Remember that magnet analogy Watts uses?
Oh, yeah, you can't have one pole without the other.
They're two sides of the same coin, fundamentally linked.
So instead of thinking of them as battling it out,
It's more like they need each other.
like light and dark, masculine and feminine.
Precisely. And Watts tells this great story about a Chinese farmer. His horse runs away.
Oh, I think I know this one.
The neighbors all think it's terrible luck.
But the farmer just says, maybe?
Exactly. And later on, the horse comes back, leading a whole herd of wild horses.
What seemed like bad luck turns into good fortune.
You see, it's all about perspective and understanding the cyclical nature of things.
Accepting that what we label as good or bad, often just part of a bigger pattern.
Exactly.
And this acceptance of life's ups and downs,
Mhm.
isn't that the essence of lei, that organic pattern Watts talks about?
It is. The book often uses water as an example. Its beauty, adaptability, and power.
Qualities that rigid man-made systems often lack.
You got it. Just like water carves its path, life unfolds organically.
So when we try to control that flow too much, isn't that where problems start?
It can be. Think about it, trying to overgovern, control every aspect of life.
Doesn't that stifle the natural order, the li?
Exactly, like trying to dam a river. The water's going to find a way through eventually.
It makes you think about things like pollution, climate change. Are we trying too hard to control nature?
Instead of working with it.
Right. Which I guess brings us to another core concept, wu-wei, effortless action. But isn't that kind of a paradox?
It seems that way, right?
How do you act without effort?
It's not about being passive, but aligning yourself with that natural flow of the Tao.
I think I'm starting to get it.
Watts compares it to a skilled boatman navigating rapids, moving with the current, not fighting against it. Have you ever felt that kind of effortless skill?
Oh, for sure. Like when you're in the zone and everything just clicks.
Exactly. Not magic in a supernatural sense, but more like a deep understanding, aligning with the natural order, like that unbendable arm exercise Watts talks about.
When you tense up, you're weak.
But when you relax, let the energy flow,
Mm-hmm.
you're strong.
A great illustration of wu-wei.
So surrender to the flow, trust the current.
That's a big part of it. Understanding we're already part of the Tao, then aligning our actions.
But that doesn't just happen overnight. It's a process, like Watts says, not just willpower. It's cultivating that inner alignment, harmony between our intentions and the natural order of things.
You know, as we're exploring all this, it strikes me how much Taoism values stuff that, well, our culture often sees as kind of negative.
Weakness, yielding, those kinds of things.
Yeah, exactly.
It's all about that yin-yang principle.
Yeah.
Taoism doesn't try to wipe out what we see as bad or weak. It's more like recognizing there's value in those qualities too.
So it's not about striving for some perfect good side.
Nope. Remember that passage where Lao Tzu compares the Tao to water? It always seeks the lowest place, but it's essential for everything.
It completely flips the script on what we usually call strong.
For sure. And then there's that story from Chuang-Tzu about the hunchback who lives a long life because he's considered useless for, like, military service.
Wow.
Well,
It really makes you rethink what society calls a flaw, doesn't it?
absolutely. Embrace what makes you you, even the so-called imperfections. They're all part of the Taoist tapestry.
Like, bloom where you're planted, but with a Taoist twist.
I like that. And it ties right back into wu-wei, not striving to become something you're not, but aligning with your true nature, your potential.
Ooh, I like that. Inherent potential. It's like we've all got this hidden wellspring inside, just waiting to be tapped.
And that tapping doesn't come from forcing it. It's more about surrender, letting go of the ego's need to control, letting the Tao be the guide.
Makes sense.
Think about those stories of the skilled artisans in the book. The carpenter, the butcher, the boatman. They all have this mastery, but they can't really explain it.
It's like they're operating on a level beyond words.
Exactly. They've cultivated this direct experience of the Tao. Remember Ching, the master carpenter?
Yeah, vaguely.
He talks about how he preps for a project by quieting his mind, no thoughts of reward or fame, just becoming one with the wood.
Sounds almost like a meditative state.
It is. Clearing out the mental clutter, all the judgments and worries, so a deeper wisdom can come through. That fasting of the mind idea we mentioned earlier.
So, not emptying your mind completely, but making room for something deeper.
You got it. And that wisdom, it's already inside you. It's the Tao expressing itself through you, your actions, your thoughts, everything.
But our egos get in the way.
Oh, all the time. Anxieties, desires, the need to control.
We end up fighting the current instead of just floating along.
Exactly. And that struggle, that's where a lot of suffering comes from. Wu-wei's about letting go of that, trusting the Tao to lead you where you need to be.
What if the current takes me somewhere I don't want to go?
Great question. That's where discernment comes in. Wu-wei is not about blindly following every whim you have. It's about cultivating that inner knowing, what feels right for you in each moment.
So sometimes it means taking action, sometimes it means stepping back.
Precisely. It's a delicate balance.
Knowing when to act, when to surrender, sounds tough.
It is, but like any skill, you get better with practice. The more you practice, the better you get at that timing, knowing when to push and when to let go.
Like learning to dance with the Tao, letting it lead.
Beautifully put. And that dance, it's a lifelong journey, full of twists and turns, moments of grace, and moments where you trip up a bit. But the key is to keep moving, keep flowing with it, even when it's challenging.
And those stumbles, they're just part of learning and growing.
That's it. The Tao isn't about being perfect, it's about embracing the whole thing. All parts of yourself, the light and the shadow, the yin and yang.
Recognizing that we're already complete, even with our flaws.
Now you're getting it. And when you can truly embrace that, that's where the joy, creativity, and power come from. You become a vessel for the Tao.
That's a powerful image. A vessel for the Tao, like a conduit for that universal energy flowing through everything.
And that's the beauty of Taoism. It's not about chasing something external. It's realizing that infinite potential you already have, knowing we're all connected, part of this cosmic dance.
And when you feel that connection, you're never really alone, right?
Exactly. Supported by the Tao, by the flow of life itself, really comforting, especially when the world feels overwhelming.
That's why it feels so relevant today, I think. It offers a path to inner peace, even with all the chaos going on.
Not escaping the world, but finding that peace within, no matter what's happening around you.
And when we find that peace, we kind of spread it outwards, right? More harmony in our relationships, our communities.
Like a ripple effect. The more we align with the Tao, the more we help create a more harmonious world.
Man, I'm feeling so inspired after all this, like a whole new way of looking at things.
It's a journey, for sure. Best taken with an open mind and a playful spirit.
Speaking of playful, how do we actually live this stuff? It's great to talk about, but how do we make it real in our daily lives?
That's the million-dollar question, right? Well, for one thing, mindfulness is huge. Taking time each day to just observe your breath, your thoughts, your surroundings, without judging them.
Like hitting the pause button on all that mental noise.
Exactly. Giving yourself a chance to reconnect with that stillness inside. And from there, you can start making choices that are more aligned with the Tao. Instead of just reacting to stuff, take a breath, observe, ask yourself, what's the most effortless, harmonious way to handle this?
So being more aware, present in the moment, then letting the Tao guide things.
You got it. But then there's those times when you do need to act. How do you balance effort and surrender then? That's where timing comes in. Taoism is all about aligning your actions with the natural rhythms of the universe. There's a time to move, time to wait, and a time to just let go.
Interesting.
Like surfing. You wait for the perfect wave, then you ride it with skill.
Perfect analogy.
And just like surfing, wu-wei takes practice, patience, and willingness to learn from your wipeouts. There'll be times you miss the wave, but that's all part of it. It's a journey, and it's only just beginning. And remember, the Tao is always there, guiding you, even when you don't realize it.
So we're all on this grand adventure, and the Tao is the music we're dancing to.
That's it.